Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, January 3rd. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the S&NQ. So the bulls accomplished something. They put the daily back to balance. That's one thing. Good ranges again, right? Over $6 in ES, close to 7 in NQ. Really poor volume though. But again, with these ranges, hopefully we get more out of it on Monday. I'm going to go over all these indices charts. Let's go over how they finished up, though, on the profile. Righty goes out with unchanged value. They did probe late in the day to the upside. They have a double distribution day and an afternoon pullback in G. NQ goes out with one little small set of single prints in E. So they are a double distribution day. And that's it. Interestingly enough, Monday's high is the weekly high, but today's high is the yearly high so far. We also did not get our white overnight POC, which we will carry forward. ES goes out with an afternoon pullback in G, a very small set of single prints for a double distribution day, and they also did not get their white overnight POC, which will carry forward. SPY actually goes out with a triple distribution. They have single prints here, and one little lot here. So they're a triple D, believe it or not. But it went 9 cents total of single prints in SPY. 9 cents total. So they very easily could all be taken back today. I had a good day, and it was all in the morning. I didn't do anything in the afternoon. Again, first slow grind of the year up for about 2 hours, and I didn't get involved. But I actually took a short in ES against the overnight high right before the opening and got paid on it. The overnight was long. I thought we'd push down some. We didn't push down a lot, but I got paid 8 points. And then when it went back up, I was not quick enough to get the overnight high. But after that, I did a couple of ebb and flow longs in A period and on a 945 turnover because they were acting pretty good. And indice-wise, they were up a lot. The bulls end up with a 7-0 lead in ES on their checklist sheet, 7-1 in NQ. So dominating performance on that, and especially with the indices. B period, I did get long to get A's high in NQ. However, I also took a long one to pull back against the opening in the 144, which paid the first time. But I missed taking the short to get A's low. That's okay. And then in E period, I took a long to get the IB high. That was it. The only other trade, besides the grinds, I was doing some work with my numbers, and I'm like, at some point, NQ's got to stop the one-time frame, and I was not paying attention when L opened and took out K's low right away. Probably might have taken that trade, but I was not paying attention. As far as destinations, ES 96.75 is the yearly high so far. They have a single print. They have an afternoon pullback at 69.25. Then they have a single print 66 to 65.75, 2 ticks. Today's low of 34, and the white overnight pocket 28.75. In SPY, we have today's high, which is a yearly high of 592.60. Single prints 591.01 to 04. Single prints 589.85 to 89. And then a one tick one at 589.54. 9 cents worth of singles. And then today's low is 586.43. Now let's go to these charts and break down what's going on here as we head into next week, which would have been the first full week of the year, but the market's closed Thursday for Jimmy Carter's funeral. So here's the monthly in IWM, right? It's technically still up. But last month was a total inside month. And obviously 2 days inside so far this month is. So it's up to balance. Okay? The weekly now we recovered a lot very nicely, but because we took out those lows this week, I would call the weekly down. Some people might say it's still just a little stretch and call it balance. Look, I don't have a problem with that. So whether you call it down or you call it balance, again, no big deal to me. But the reason I would call it down is we were one time framing down, including this week, 5 weeks. We had an inside week last week. That doesn't stop it. And then we came out of that to the downside. Didn't get much distance below, but we're one time framing down 5 weeks. So I would call for me, I'm calling the weekly down in IWM. And the daily is balance. It's a 10-day balance. Okay? NQ, monthly, balance. We don't know how big the balance is going to be yet. We'll see after January how much we come in, if we do it all. But for now, you're in balance on the monthly. The weekly is down. I'm calling the weekly down for now. It's a nice finish on the weekly, but it's down. So we'll see if we can take out this week's high next week and come right back to balance. And the daily is balance. Now, it's going to be the same for ES, but I'm going to explain it here. I'll call it a 4-day balance. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But if we do go higher, say on Monday, and I call it up, I am not going to ignore Fed day high. Because until we resolve getting above that and get an extension, or getting below that Friday low, which we did yesterday, the daily was down. But what did we get out of it? Nothing. We came right back to balance. So Wednesday's Fed high and yesterday's low still have to be resolved. So I'll call it a 4-day balance. But even if we start going up, I'm not going to get all giddy unless we take out the Fed day high. Okay? And then let's go to the S&P. The monthly is balance. I don't know how big the monthly balance will be yet. Right? I'd probably call it a 3-month balance for now, but very early. The weekly is still down for me. Okay? One time framing down 3 weeks. So even though we had a nice finish, we're still down on the weekly as far as I'm concerned. And the daily, same as NQ. I'll call it a 4-day balance. But Fed day high and yesterday's low are really the 2 most important things going forward to see which way we attempt to break out. 35 million on the tape, not a lot of volume. Look, I'm going to remind you one more time, this is it. I think my room offers a tremendous amount of value for a very fair price. I said earlier, I've seen a lot of, not a lot, but a bunch of traders from my room who have gone on and started their own room. I have no problem with that, but charge exorbitantly more than I do. So, again, I think what I offer, being on the mic 6.5 hours a day, live streaming my market profile for free, that's a $400 per month investment on my part, and breaking down this market in detail using the market profile is worth its weight in gold. So before the prices go up on Monday, check out camelbacktrading.org and join a really great group of traders. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your weekend, rest up, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.